Hey, help support the show by becoming a member on Patreon or YouTube. This is the best way to help me as a creator, and so thank you and go Cavs. Alright, so I wanted to talk about this latest Darius Garland trade rumor and get ready, Cavs fans, because it is going to be a long summer. Probably going to make this same exact video 12 more times before it's all over and October is here. Hopefully it won't be 95 degrees every time I have to make this video. But so this report that we got yesterday, it honestly surprised me a little bit. I'm sure it surprised a couple people. It was a aggregated little throwaway moment from Kevin O'Connor on his podcast where basically he said that the Cavs included Darius Garland in a trade proposal to the Phoenix Suns for Kevin Durant, and this set Cavs Twitter on fire. I mean, unsurprisingly, people went crazy. And I'll be honest with you, not to be the party police or anything, but I immediately wanted to douse that fire a little bit because right away, and you know what, this is important, honestly. This is really important for how we're going to go throughout this entire summer. Because listen, you're going to see headlines of Cavs talk to blank team about this player. You're going to see it with every team, right? Every single summer. We know how this works. Every team is interested in every star player. That's the NBA rumor mill. It's how we talk about this sport in the social media era. Every little crumb of information is going to get reported and aggregated, and you know, it's the telephone game until all of a sudden it sounds like the Cavs straight up put Darius Garland on the table. But in reality, turns out the Cavs were never close to really making a formal offer for Kevin Durant. And this is what my initial speculation was, but I kind of held back on Twitter from completely writing it off because I figured we'd wait and see. And so if you listen to the original comments from KOC on his podcast, where he kind of said this in an offhand, oh, well, I heard the Cavs included Darius Garland in this trade proposal. Two things on that, right? One, KOC has never really been the guy who breaks news on this stuff, so I was already going to take this with a grain of salt. But two, once I heard the quote, KOC himself doesn't sound like he's trying to break news here or anything, right? Like, again, it basically sounded like an offhand account of, hey, I just heard this is what they were doing. And so if you listen to friend of the show, Brian Windhorst on ESPN Cleveland this morning, he provided some more information, which is honestly what I was waiting for, right? Because this is everyone for the NBA offseason. If you don't want to be duped by any rumors, or if you don't want to get your hopes up or anything like that, get multiple sources on this stuff, right? Get at least, 2 or 3 sources, or at least one very credible source before you run away with anything. Unless you like that crazy goose chase of, just following random NBA insiders you've never heard of before and trying to connect the dots. And then, and if that's your thing, then go off. But on the Windy report, basically to summarize, Windy said this. He said, Kevin Durant to Cleveland never really came close. Was never really going to happen. He said, yeah, there were some conversations, but they didn't advance very far. Of course, the only possible way that this deal would have ever worked financially is if you had included Darius Garland. So it's not really a shock to say that DG was hypothetically on the table here, is what Wendy said. But this is the important thing. He makes it pretty clear that the Cavs were not openly waving Darius Garland around and saying like, hey, please take him. Does anyone want Darius Garland? Will anybody buy him, please? It's not what happened, right? Wendy said that he would not describe that the Cavs are swinging for any star this summer, because if you say that they're swinging to try and get Kevin Durant or anything like that, it implies that they are trying to make a trade, when in reality, it seems like Kobe Altman and the Cavs are just looking at all their options, right? And that's just good business. Why wouldn't Kobe Altman call up the Suns and kick the can around and just see what the asking price might be? You never know. Why wouldn't Kobe call about other stars on other teams around the league just to try and get a sense of what's going on and what might be available to them? That's his job. That's what he's here to do. And so Wendy basically confirmed that the Cavs, they will very likely be scanning the league this summer and inquiring about other star players. And of course, that led to a whole nother round of speculation and crazy things. But I wouldn't set yourself up with the expectations that the Cavs are gung-ho about making a move this summer. This doesn't sound like a team that is desperate to shuffle their deck because, hey, they already have a pretty damn good hand, right? And it's gotten even better in the last week, as Wendy said. I did a video on this yesterday as well, but the Eastern Conference is wide open right now, and the Cavs are one of the teams, if not the team, that has the best chance of capitalizing on this wide open window in the East. So yes, if there's a big splash that they can make this summer and go all in for an all NBA player and maximize their 2-year championship window, then this is the time to do it, right? This is why they will be calling around and seeing if anything's possible. But from everything that we know from the people who are around the team to Kobe Altman's statements himself, the Cavs seem like they are more than happy to run it back with this core if they're not able to find the right package. They seem to like their roster. And so ending this video with why you should like the Cavs roster at least a little bit. I mean, they won 64 games, and why nobody should be eager to trade Darius Garland, in my opinion, is this dude is 25 years old, right? And he's already a two-time All-Star. He just had the best season of his career. He's completely proven that he can coexist next to Donovan Mitchell, offensively at least. If you still have some concerns about their defense, we can talk about that in another video. But we just saw how disorganized and kind of hopeless the Cavs felt on offense when Darius Garland wasn't out there to orchestrate. And I think you could even go back to last season as well, when DG was coming off that jaw injury, and you just didn't have him to run things the way that he normally does. And so there's inherent value in Darius Garland that honestly doesn't show up in the box score, right? Because listen, seriously, if you listen to any NBA player or a coach or a high level analyst who's smarter than me, right? Like, Darius is an all world floor general. That stuff is not easy to replace. He does things that are intangible, that you can't put into the box score. He is so important to this Cavs offense, and I feel like we've seen it over and over again. So there's a reason why when you hear that the Cavs were, talking to a team about trading Darius Garland for someone of the caliber of Kevin Durant, that makes sense. But they're not really talking to the Orlando Magic about Jalen Suggs, right? Like, if they're going to trade Darius Garland, it would be a big swing. Darius is too important for this team to get rid of him without feeling like you're taking a big step forward. So I don't think that the Cavs are in a position where they're trying to make a deal no matter what. So to summarize all of this, the Cavs, it sounds like they're going to keep turning over every stone to see what's available, and that's what they should do. It definitely sounds like they want to trade Dean Wade and Isaac Okoro to free up some of their other options. We've heard multiple reports on that, so I would keep an eye out on the upcoming NBA draft and whether they're able to package Dean Wade and Okoro with those second-round picks to get off them. We'll have to keep an eye on it. If the right deal emerges, maybe they move Jarrett Allen, maybe they move Darius Garland, but I would say there's probably a higher chance. I don't know what the betting odds or what the splits here would be, but I would say there's a higher chance that they simply just run it back with the same core four, the same 8-man rotation, and try to break through the Eastern Conference next season, because they have plenty of reasons to feel like they're capable of it. But the two deals to watch for are definitely the Dean Wade, Okoro stuff. Darius Garland, Jarrett Allen, more of a long shot. Overall, I would say we're probably going to see the same team back next season, and I think that's perfectly fine. I think they have a great chance at breaking through and winning a championship. So thanks for watching my video. Please subscribe and drop a like. Leave me a comment telling me if you think Darius Garland should be traded or not. With all that being said, go Cavs.